What is up, everybody? I'm your Legendary Commander, and welcome back to Shipbreakers. In this video, we're going to talk about dealing with hard-level ships, particularly Gekos with their Class 2 reactors. And unlike its predecessors, the hard is, well, much harder to deal with. Previously, we were able to pull a reactor around no problem, just so long as we didn't pull it out of its shell. Well, with this reactor, the moment you disconnect the coolant and the fuel, the reactor starts to overload. Meanwhile, if you go ahead and just disconnect either the fuel or the coolant, the reactor doesn't have any problems. But the moment you deactivate the other one, well, that's when it decides it wants to blow up. So how do we deal with this reactor? Well, it shouldn't be too difficult actually. My suggestion is disable the fuel line but leave the coolant line running, as the coolant line is much easier to handle. Then peel the shell away from the reactor. Mainly open up a hole big enough for the reactor to slide out, and so it can also slide out of the cage that it's in. Now at this point you have a few choices. You can go disconnect it from its coolant source or fuel source, whichever you left active. Or if you're feeling a little froggy, feel free to go ahead and just pull the reactor right out of its cell through the hole that you've left. Now this might sound nuts, but like I said, you must be feeling froggy. You can actually pull the reactor while the coolant and the fuel supply is on, it just has less health. Each time you turn off one of those, you gain some of the health back that the reactor won't explode as quickly. Remember, tethers are your friend here. Once you get that reactor out, make sure to tether that thing to the barge right away to help pull it down and to avoid any damage. For the most part, dealing with this reactor isn't that difficult, you just have to know what you're getting into in the first place. Find the key or buy it at the Master Jack, decompress the ship, disconnect either the coolant or the fuel supply, your choice, clear the way of any hole that could be in the way, clear any obstructions the shell might create, now shut off the coolant or fuel supply, then give it a little tug for the reactor to come out, pull it up and out, and then tether it to the barge. Make sure you have a clear space. And that's really it, guys. Both on the industrial Geko and the transport Geko on hard, the reactor wants to explode, so just make sure that you're a little more careful and follow these steps instead of the ones that you would follow for a medium or easy. But guys, that is going to be it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed this one. If you did, hit that like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Make sure to tell your friends. And as always, you'll take care.
Warning. Fire
And
damage.
hopefully more explosions next time.
Links recommends maintaining a safe distance from flames. Injury detected. A ticket has been submitted for medical assistance.